I had built a business. We had about 400 employees, and we were passionate. We all agreed it was a passion play. We were really, really succeeding in every way. And we loved what we were doing. Everybody couldn't wait to get to work. People were there all the time. People were practicing when they weren't working. Like you said, they were intense. And there was a lot of trust in that had been built up. And to that guy's point that I said about yesterday that I talked to, people did know if they didn't fit in. You didn't have to ask somebody to leave. If you hired them and they didn't fit, they knew they didn't want to stay, is more of what happened. So we hit a financial, really a tough moment. And we're going up, we're succeeding, we're growing up. But remember, growth costs money. So there is a point in time that it became unmanageable. And we faced that moment. And it led to a decision that we either had to cut a significant portion of our group to be able to survive, or we had alternatives to that. And I chose an alternative, which was to ask every employee in the company to reduce their salary, and I think it was 15%. It's a lot. It's significant for a lot of people. And across the board, we did it. From number 1 to number 400, including myself, we all took that cut. So that's a big ask to people. And all of a sudden, you're taking somebody that life is great, they're passionate, and they trust to, well, how could this happen? And the first look is to management and say, did management fail me? So there's that risk of that distrust that cannot be rebuilt, in my opinion, if you have that gap between trust of management or not. To me, it takes too long to rebuild that trust to be effective. So what do? Well, we did that. We said it. So the next thing we did is we said, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to give everybody the equivalent of stock options in the company. And here are the options for what is today's valuation of the company. And we're going to give that to you at today's valuation. And you can only sell it back to us, and we get to choose when we buy it back. So it may not be worth anything, but it may be worth something more than it is today. It will never be less than what we gave it to you today. But we get to choose when we ask you. But you get to choose yes or no. You can hold on to it longer, but we're always making the choice of when we bring it back in or to monetize it. We lost no one, and this was a 9-month thing. So people had to adjust their lifestyle for that period of time. And we continued to be passionate. And how did that happen? It happened because we shared our financials. We explained our problem. We didn't hide from anything. We had discussions about what it meant to everybody and why this situation presented itself at this time. And people had to say, okay, all right, let me decide, is this where I want to be or not? Everybody seemed to accept the honesty and transparency. And they accepted the stack, but I don't think they believed in it. But they just decided they wanted to still be a part. We continued to grow, and we didn't stop growing during this time. We just ran out of money. Mm-hmm. Okay. And at the end of the day, we just ended up buying everybody's stock back for improvement. They all made a lot of money. I think nobody made less than 50% more of their money over time. I think it was all resolved in a couple of years. Some people kept it because we allowed them to keep it at some point as normal stock. But it turned into a positive experience because it built more trust, not less.